Got it. Anyway, welcome.
This meeting is live streaming on YouTube. I don't know if you know that.
It's definitely live streaming on YouTube. All right, there. Yes, welcome. This is Next Level. And this is where we talk about the episode that's coming up this week. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make a decision in my head right now. That's a decision I should have made long before I hit go, but that's fine. Yes,
Red
Next
pill.
Level, exactly. Level with Emily is the name of the podcast. I host it. Emily is my name, and Sam produces it, and that is Sam over there. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
And we just like to give a little preview about what's coming up later in the week. The episode will publish Friday, and it features composer Chris Rickwood, who does the music for Brawlhalla. And he also did Smite, which was a big deal for a while. Well, I think Smite still happens. He just doesn't do the music anymore or something along those lines. But yeah, but Chris Rickwood wrote the music for Brawlhalla, which is obviously a brawler. And yeah, so that's what we're going to chat about. But before we get into that, how art thou?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. On,
all right.
The continuing winter here in Minnesota.
I know, but I can see that the sun has been breaking out, which is amazing. Even though it feels like 18 degrees, and I'm not even kidding. That's literally what the wind chill is right now, which in December feels great, but in April does not feel great. But it is what it is. We're getting through it. We got another 9 inches of snow Friday.
Yeah.
Third snowiest on record for the Twin Cities metro.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine. Anyway, that's our just weekly weather chat.
Yeah, we always have to have our weekly weather chat.
You started it this time.
It's just my fault. Yeah.
I was completely gonna avoid it, but you started it. But it's just funny to go out and see it in everyone's face. That's the thing when you have one like this, because I just saw some friends a couple hours ago, and we're like, we've had snow on the ground, snow covered since mid-November. Like, that's just ridiculous. It's usually not that bad here. So it's usually
got
bad,
space
but it's
in their homes and lives south, right, and we can move in.
I can almost guarantee that everyone lives south of us.
Yeah.
in a like latitudinal way, right?
Right.
Yeah. But you never know. Still, yeah. Even 3 hours south would be a bit of a relief, but yeah, so Chris Rickwood and Brawlhalla, I had so much fun talking with him. He was so candid about just the process. So mostly what we focus on is the fact that Brawlhalla does all these crossover characters, and so they'll bring in characters from all kinds of different game franchises, most of which they don't have the rights to, right? So Ubisoft publishes Brawlhalla, and so the one that they did have the rights to is Assassin's Creed. So there's Assassin's Creed crossover music, but most of the others they don't, like Tomb Raider, and there's like wrestling, there's crossovers outside of games too, like anime with like Avatar: The Last Airbender, and just all these different crossovers, Castlevania, but then more modern stuff. So you hear the theme a lot, right? I mean, what did you think of that?
That was super fun. Yeah. I mean, that was the fun of this set of songs, is they're super eclectic for that very reason, but like squeezing a theme into these different styles and stuff and different, like attitudes in the music even, is just a fun thing to do, probably for any composer, and also just makes for a fun listen if you're listening for that.
Yep. Yeah. And I can play the shit, I didn't set any of this up, so sorry. Give me just a minute and I'll get it set up, and I can play sort of play the main theme what I mean is I'll play the theme, but it's from like the 5th anniversary battle pass. They have, a lot of online games have these seasons or whatever they call it, where they're breaking up a calendar year into maybe quarters or something like that, and so you'll have like this 3-month set of content, and then they'll redo everything, and then whatever. So for Brawlhalla, it's battle passes, and I am not well equipped for that today. I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna be able to play it for you today. I have my laptop. I don't have the music though, which is annoying. This was a weird one in my defense in terms of getting the files, because it's not like a released soundtrack, right? So I can't just pull up Spotify and play you Brawlhalla music. But why don't you talk about Minecraft for 35 seconds, and I can.
Minecraft.
I don't know. Talk about something.
I did just play Minecraft the other day. It had been a little while. And I've been trying to get better at Bed Wars, which, if anybody knows, Minecraft server games, that's a big one. And I'm not good at it, but my partner in crime is very good. And so it leads to some funny little adventures. Also, I found out that the mouse I'd been using was a piece of crap.
Oh, that's right. You got a new mouse.
I got a new mouse, and my new mouse upped my game by at least 50%. So I feel like suddenly I'm awesome.
Well, let's use yet another game pun by saying game changer, right?
Right.
It's a game changer.
Yes, it's literally
having
a game changer.
A mouse that works appropriately. Amazing. Yeah, that helps a lot. It does. I'm ready, I think.
Okay.
Let's try it. Wait, I need to fix the Zoom sound settings though. Good Lord. Is Elise still dealing with us right now?
I think so.
Here we go. Okay, good. Hi. I gotta have lunch with
if I need to rift, I can always give the forecast.
You can which next week it's supposed to be like 75. Originally it said 85, and I just about jumped out the second floor. I was like, no, absolutely not. No, we are not going from 25 to 85.
Just go from 25 to 85, and then it'll be 85 for 6 months, and then drop down to 25 again.
I was like, abso-fucking-lutely not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, I'm going to take a trip up north when summer comes. I can't handle it. All right, so back to Mr. Chris Rickwood and the 5th anniversary theme for Brawlhalla, which just the only reason I'm playing this is because it's the best example I have of the theme in the clear, right? Without being put into any of these other franchises, because that's the whole point, right? So here's the theme. Oh, what the hell?
Tonight in Minneapolis, St. Paul, a chance of flurries before 11 p.m., cloudy during the early evening, and gradually clearing, low around 23. Windy with a chance of west winds 20 to 30 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 45 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's going to be... Okay,
Thursday, sunny with a near high of 38. West winds around 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 25 miles per hour.
Amazing. All right, let me try something else. So sorry. I am so...
You're listening to Next Level here on WU2
Well done, you. All right. Let's try it this way. Friends. This is like being at the retirement party while the people who have never run AV are trying to like do the slideshow or something, trying to get the mic to work.
Yeah.
That awkward like pause. I don't think this is going to work either.
Well.
Yeah, I am so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm having technical issues.
We'll hear the music in the episode that comes out on Friday.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And the bulk of our conversation was spent talking about those differences. How did he take this one theme and make it sound like it's from Tomb Raider. Like, how do you do that? How do you make it sound like, you know, Christmas or Valentine's Day, or what do you do to make it sound like? And that was really fun. He does a tango for Valentine's Day, which I thought was really funny. And do you remember what he said about tango? Like what he always thinks of when he does.
Oh yeah,
tango.
he was talking about the movie True Lies.
Yeah. I'm like, yes.
I assume that's from the scene where
yes,
what's her face dances, but I don't remember that being a tango. But I haven't seen that movie in a long time. But
that's the scene I thought of, but I don't know either. When I hear of tango, like if I'm thinking of like a pop culture tango reference, I always think of Scent of a Woman. Remember that tango? With Al Pacino?
Yeah, right.
That's a hot one. Yeah.
But that was a really funny callback to True Lies.
Yeah, to True Lies. I'm like, yes, what a great movie. Yeah. So he was fun, and he lives in Atlanta. So that was another thing we talked about, is how he built this career for himself there. Because, yeah, I mean, now if you talk to some 22-year-old composer, they could be anywhere. But 10 years ago, everyone was in LA. You know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of an interesting conversation to have with him too. Like, what made him decide to put his roots there, and just that whole conversation was really cool. Talking about him building that up, and so it's unique in many ways. Just that, you know, it's basically this one theme over and over again. And it's worth saying that there is a lot of other music in Brawlhalla. We just don't talk about any of it. We just talk about these themes and how he tackles that part of it as they release these new characters from different media or other games or whatever. And that was cool. Did you ever play Brawlers? Did you ever do like Smash Bros or anything like that?
Well, yeah, I played Smash Brothers, and I played that new one that was the beta was out or whatever with the Warner Brothers one.
Oh, Marvel, no, I know exactly. Versus Multiverses.
Yeah, Multiverses.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yep. And that was actually Multiverses was kind of fun because Smash Brothers was always a little too fast for me, and Multiverses they slow down the play a little bit, which I thought was better for that kind of game. You know, so it's not just chaos.
We're
it's
not
like you get to be a little more intentional.
Yeah.
Plus, I like being Superman.
That's interesting. I thought you'd rather be Spider-Man.
Well, he's not Warner Brothers.
That's right.
Yeah.
He is Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah, so they had like the DC characters, Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and all that, and Scooby-Doo and stuff.
Who would ever want to be Batman? He doesn't even have any. He's just a dude with toys.
Well, in a game like that,
I love Batman, but
he's got gadgets, so maybe the gadgets are fun. But I don't think they even released Batman yet. They had Wonder Woman and Superman because they didn't release all the characters for the beta, and I think they just yoinked that back off, so it won't be back for another 6 months to a year or something. But
interesting.
I didn't play it very much.
Yeah, and
anyway, that's my experience with Brawlers.
I do want to backtrack and not diss Batman.
Yeah, right.
Because I love Batman, especially those. I grew up with the Michael Keaton Batman, right? Like that one, and Adam West, of course. But
right.
But those games, the Batman games, are some of the best superhero games, like on these next gen consoles. They're just so fun. I love those games, and you know, again, he doesn't have. I mean, they give him certain kind of like super powers, but they're all driven by his gadgets, of course. And I love driving the Batmobile, and I love like caping about and like soaring and
right.
So Batman, I'm so sorry if I offended you.
Well, there is much debate about like who would win in fights between Batman and all these superheroes, which you'd think Batman would just get squished like a bug, but in the comics and stuff, Batman secretly, because he's super smart, sets up ways to take down any of the other superheroes if they go bad.
Wow.
And so he's got like all these protocols for taking the rest of them out.
Yeah, he's like an engineer, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. Batman. Well, and in Batman v Superman, that movie.
Yeah.
When he gets punched by Superman. Is that it? Or he tries to punch Superman and it just goes into his chest and stops. And there's some really funny punch scene. When they have that fight scene, it's hilarious.
Yeah, there's one where Superman just kind of goes boink and like sends him flying. And he also, I think, does that with like the Batmobile or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Batman sprays him in the face with kryptonite.
Right.
And then you can fight him for a little while. Hit him with the toilet or whatever he does.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's amazing. I'm serious though. The most underrated thing on this duo, like to the world, is his knowledge of the comics universes. He knows everything about that stuff. So that's fun. But back to Chris Rickwood. Just one last time. Again, super sorry that I didn't get the music thing working out today.
Tight.
But it's well worth hearing, and I just had a good time. We laughed a lot, and he was really fun to chat with. So
yeah, it's a fun hang, and he talks about, it's another example of like somebody talking about kind of being an industry creator and dealing with deadlines and dealing with working with remote musicians and stuff that he recorded for different parts. And I remember there was one track he was talking about that he might want to try and go back and get a soloist.
The tango track.
Yeah, the tango track.
It's the tango track. Yeah.
Because just because because he just wasn't happy with how it sounded, but it was like you gotta get stuff out in time, and
Yep.
It's all part of being a working musician,
Do you remember, oh God, how many months ago was it now? When we had Vince Diamante on and he was talking about the music Sky, but he was talking about how he's collected all these electronic wind instruments, or EWIs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had this like harebrained idea. And you talking about Chris, like, trying to find ways to manage without live soloists and things like that, and a lot of times now I'm thinking of Vince because of his like just amassing all of these instruments that he can play without being a player. And by that I mean, like, so I actually emailed him yesterday because I'm like, I really want to play my trumpet, but I don't want to play trumpet anymore. It's like, it hurts. It's hard. It would take me months to even sound good. I mean, I could like screw around and stuff, but I'm just like, I don't. And I know that you can get these instruments and use brass fingering on them and stuff. And so I had this whole conversation with him, and I'm going to get one because you can get like, and actually I'm going to get an Aerophone, which is from Roland.
Okay.
And they have like early entry model, because I don't need like a full blown like professional electronic wind situation. I just want to mess around with it and see if I can make some shitty MIDI trumpet sounds with it. And
no, that's really cool, because that, like, I've not thought about getting stuff like that myself because I don't play those kind of instruments, but that's one of the annoying things about, like, if you're trying to play other instruments with a keyboard, you don't have the same kind of control where in terms of like sensitivity of pressure and stuff like that. So if you want to like make something sound real that's played with a keyboard, you got to go in and do a bunch of editing on the MIDI and all that, which is just obnoxious process in my opinion. But being able to like play an instrument where you can feed that information in, if you've got a good sounding sound, then you can play all sorts of cool stuff.
Right. That's the thing too. It's like, what does the sound like? Because it's not going to be my sound, right? Like, I just wonder how it's going to feel. Like, I mean, emotionally, yes, but like, I'm just curious what it's going to feel like to play that. And also too, as a brass player, you're changing octaves with your breath and with your embouchure, right? And you don't do that on an electronic instrument. So you're having to kind of learn different key patterns, because even though these three buttons function the same way, it's like just one octave, and you're using that octave all over, which isn't how it works on a trumpet. Like when you change octaves, the fingerings change. So 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 you're using like, it's interesting. I mean, there's a whole video that Vince sent me to like tell me how it was. You know who else I heard from? Mike Morasky.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah. So
and Mike Morasky, for the listeners, is
Valve. Yeah, he's the Valve composer. So he did the Portal 2 music. He's done all the new Half-Life stuff. He's done he did all the Left 4 Dead stuff. He's done tons of stuff for Counter-Strike. He's doing the new Counter-Strike stuff, which is what we were kind of talking about a little bit. And the other biggie is Team Fortress. I'm like, there's another big one.
Yeah.
Team Fortress. So yeah, so I don't know, that was exciting. But anyway, back to the aerophone or the electronic wind instrument, whatever you want to call it. EWI is a proprietary term, right? So it's like Kleenex, you know, like, but aerophone, but people, I don't know. Anyway, that's my story. I'm excited though. I'm really excited about it.
That's cool.
So, you know, it's only like, you can get a used one for like $250 because otherwise the nice ones are, I mean, they can be 1,000, they can be 3,000. And there's just like, I'm like, I don't want to drop that kind of money if I don't want to play, if I don't like it, or, you know, so
yeah,
get a used one, see what it's like. And maybe we'll make a level theme song for it or something like that.
That would be super rad. Yeah.
Yeah.
At a minimum, we'll have to mess around with just, you know, giving you some stuff to play over and, you know.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Cause I'll have to like learn new patterns of fingerings weirdly, but I'm kind of excited about that. So anyway,
cool.
That's that. All right. Well, this was a weird one. Thanks for being here for it.
Meandering conversation, but that's all good.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
It is. And also a couple of really important things to remind everyone. We do have a giveaway happening right now. So anyone who is an active patron by, I think it's, let me look at the calendar. I think it's like the 17th. Yeah. Is that tax day this year? No, wait. Whatever. It's right around there. The middle of April. It's all on Patreon.
Okay. So you have to be
if
on
you're
Patreon, patreon.com/level.
Patreon.com/level. If you're a patron by, I think it's April 17th. It's on our page, patreon.com/level. You'll get entered to win a vinyl copy of the Red Lantern soundtrack, which is awesome. That's the episode that we featured last week with Rishikesh Hirway. And it's an awesome soundtrack. So you'll be entered. There are 5 copies. So 5 lucky patrons are eligible or will win a copy of that.
Yeah.
And then we also have an event like a week from tomorrow. It's Thursday, the 13th, the eve of VGM Con. We'll have some composers hanging out over here. And that also is for patrons. So yeah, so that's exciting. We'll have Rob Kovacs, who is 88-bit. We just talked to him about Stray Light, which is the music I have going in my head right now, weirdly. Insane in the Rain Music / Carlos Eni, I think, is going to be around. Dom Palumbi might be around. Some of the Videri String Quartet members might be around. Jason Graves might be around. We'll see what's going to happen, but we're going to hang out here, have some snacks and some good times, and people will just come on up to the mic and rotate in and out and answer questions and all kinds of fun stuff. So those are my 2 bits of news. Be a patron. We're trying to find ways to give you more shit.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
That's what it comes down to.
That's what
so the more the merrier.
Valuable shit. We're trying to give you valuable shit, like good times with good people and fun merch and stuff like that. So, all right. Sam Keenan. Learn more at patreon.com/level. We are on Discord. That link is down in the show notes. I know how that sounded. And yeah, levelwithemily.com. All the places. Thanks.
Bye.